It is possible to print multiple colors using the same piece of linoleum. This process is called a reductive print. The colors will need to be carved in a certain order. If your last color is blue-green, then it will need to be underused with your first and second colors. On the first layer, anything you carve before printing will be the white of the paper. On the second layer, it will then show the color previously. Using tracing paper, you can easily visualize how to separate out your colors. Colors should be printed from light to dark to avoid issues with transparency. Generally speaking, lighter colors are more transparent and darker ones are more opaque. So for this, you are going to need a bunch of different things. You're going to need your block, scissors, some tape, Sharpie, a bunch of different color markers. You can also use crayons or color pencils. You'll need vellum or tracing paper and your drawing. The drawing should be colored in before doing this process. So I already pre-did this, but imagine if I'm doing the orange of the chair. You just need to do this really fast. This will be your guideline. After you've colored in your drawing, you can keep your markers nearby. And I like to have everything kind of organized so that I know exactly what I'm doing and where. I like to also trace around the drawing so that I make sure it's the right size. Here I've written out exactly how I'm going to do everything in the videos. So you can see you carve one, then you print the next layer. You carve, print, carve, print. So also on this little cheat sheet, like I call it, I like to put the colors so I can visualize it as I go step by step. Whatever helps you, you should be doing. And you can also do this. You can take pieces of color aid or chips from a hardware store and put those next to the colors that you'll be printing. Again, make sure you do your palette tests because that will also help solidify the colors. Even though I'm not printing the gray, that color, it just gives you the idea or guidance of what I'm thinking about doing. So I'm now going to tear a bunch of different pieces of tracing paper. I like to have it so that I first draw the outline of everything. So I put down my paper and I just do however many colors I have. I draw a brief outline or really fast around in each different pieces of vellum. And the reason I have it taped down is so nothing shifts as I'm working on the drawing. So also, if your drawing isn't to size, you can always scan it or take a photo and then print it out so that it is to size of the block, which is really important because you need to have it the right size in order for it to translate well. So again, just making the quick outline. And these are just guides. They're not set in stone because remember, you're working not with a drawing media, you're working with a print technique. So if things change as you're working, that's natural. Since this does take a lot of time to prep, I already did prep a bunch of things for you so that you can just see how I do things as I go along. You do not need to have outlining. A lot of times I encourage students not to use outlining because you can use color as the end point of each object. I would also encourage you with the reductive not to just carve out every single color flat, but try to make a lot of lines and with your carving so that it becomes much more lyrical, let's say. So here I have it so that I have each color separated. So here is the first color, and it's yellow that I'll be printing. So you'll see that I put 1. The next one, and you'll see as you're carving that the yellow will start to disappear. Now I do another outline, and I fill in the orange, and then this will help you to decide, where do I carve next? Here is the third layer, and I'm using, of course, the gray throughout the piece, and mostly primarily as the bottom of the chair. Finally, all that is left with the drawing, you'll see, and the same when you do the reductive, the only thing that will be left is the outline if you do outlines. So make these little sheets to help you. It's a very confusing process, and spend some time working on it. Don't just go right into it.